such an asshole!
VassalConsulting.com. Go there if you got questions that your parents will give you the honest answers to because they love you so much they won't tell you the truth, which means they don't love you that much because they don't want to inconvenience themselves or feel bad by telling you the truth. But if only you had an elder brother, and even if you don't, you do have one through Asshole Consulting, where I, Aaron Clary, America's older brother and the world's only professional asshole, will give you the swift kick in the ass you so desperately need, and you're going to pay for it. Hello, Aaron. Thank you for all your videos. They've been very helpful since I found you about 3 months ago. I bought 3 of your books, and they're all great. Thank you. I would like your advice both for finances and through a recent existential crisis. I've had good success in life and work despite some bad things in my childhood. I'm a 36-year-old male working in Silicon Valley. No wife, no kids, no girlfriends, no pets, no plants. I've been in this industry for at least 12 years and worked my way up through numerous shitty bosses and lots of other bullshit. The one constant element of all my jobs is that I travel frequently. I've been to all 50 states, Canada, Mexico, all of Europe, Asia, and South America. Because I travel so much, I can live anywhere on the West Coast, so I live in a studio in Portland, Oregon on the cheap and have very little shit except for the basics. Outstanding. I currently make over $200,000 a year. Love it when I get requests from people who are just like, I make like 5 times what you do, and I got no debts, and I'm half your age. What should I do? It's like, just keep doing what you're doing. I have $106,000 in cash in the bank, $200,000 in a Roth IRA, $25,000 in a brokerage account with low-cost mutual funds, and about $230,000 in company equity before Uncle Sam takes about 35%. For the cash, is this too much to have in the bank? How much you got in the bank? 106. It depends on what you're using it for. I'd say it's a bit much. You may want to invest in like a money market fund or inflation-adjusted bonds to earn a little bit of interest on it to beat out inflation. But it depends. Like if you're using this to put a down payment on the house, no, that's not too much. But in your unique situation, I think it's fine as long as you're inevitably going to use it for something. Should I invest in mutual funds and put a down payment on a house? That will be my escape man cave for when I'm not traveling. All right, let's do that before we get to your existential crisis, because that's a little bit more deep. All right. Well, I had some questions here. Let's go through your questions that I asked. Then we'll get to your existential. Wait, did you want video or did you want email? You did email. Okay. All right. I wanted to know any particular part of the country you like, or does Portland serve you pretty well if you're jetting across the Pacific all the time? Sorry. Oh, 2 more responses. All right, those will help me. Thanks a lot for your quick reply. Let's do a video response so that take the extra cash, get some drinks through the shitty Minneapolis winter. I'm not in Minneapolis in winter. I'm heading there now for spring, which is just as shitty as winter. It's just a little bit warmer. I enjoy Northern California, north of the Bay Area, Oregon, Washington, Utah, Montana, Colorado, and Idaho, mainly due to the greenery, nature, wide open spaces, and mostly relaxed people. Portland works well because it's only a 1-day drive to the Bay Area. Oh, I see. So you got to go to the Bay Area. If I need to be there for work, I prefer driving throughout the West unless I truly need to fly. I enjoy everything west of Colorado except Arizona, Wyoming, and northern Nevada. Las Vegas isn't bad. Okay, I could manage living in the Henderson, Summerlin areas except during the summer months. Yeah, what? At your income level, could you just bump across the Washington state border and live at a place in Washington? Then you don't pay state income tax. That would more than pay, let's take a look at a map. That would more than pay for your flights down to Silicon Valley if you have to go there. Let's take a look at Tacoma, which I know isn't on the border, people. I just gotta see what's south of Tacoma and see if there's a town you can move to. Let's zoom out. What is south? There's Highway 5. Where's Oregon kick in? Where's Portland? Where's the state line? Where is the state line? Why don't they show a state line? Is that the state line? The river there? So what about something like Longview, or take a look at a map. For some reason this isn't showing me. Because if you're willing to go north, what? Is the border right across? Wait, does Washington go right across the border there? Is the border the Columbia River? Hang on. Vancouver, Washington. Let's take a look at this. Vancouver, Washington. Dude, go to Vancouver. What the fuck are you doing in Portland? Why is anybody doing in Portland? Go live in Vancouver. Buy a place in Vancouver. Then you don't pay no more state income tax. And then you just drive. I think that's a perfectly fine situation right there. I was going to recommend Vegas because Vegas is a fun town. I love it, but you are right. It gets insanely hot. But if you're perfectly happy living in Portland, fuck those Oregonians and just move to Vancouver and buy a place there. Okay. For the finance question, I forgot to mention that I have no debt. I don't own any individual stocks outright, only in mutual funds. Part of the cash in the bank is used to buy stocks when the market crashes again. Okay, let's address this with the housing thing. Housing is back inflated to where it was, but not relative to price to rents ratios. Not to mention there is not the overhang or oversupply of housing that caused the 2006-2007 crisis. Now, I'd have to do a specific property analysis, market analysis for whatever town you're considering thinking of buying. But I like the overall philosophy, take current market valuations aside, I like the overall philosophy of a man having a house. Doesn't have to be a big house, could be a condo, could be a small little house, but something so you never have to worry about being homeless. Now, in your case, you make enough money. I don't know if you really ever have to worry about being homeless. But still, if you got that money, you got a base. You got a place to store your crap. You could take off. It sounds like you travel pretty light anyway. It doesn't sound like you have a lot to begin with. But I didn't have a client too long ago. He was thinking about buying a house in a small town. And I said, okay, you could get a condo, you get an apartment, you get a small house. But why don't you get something with a couple rooms? And the reason I say a couple rooms is then you can rent out to some buddies. You always have that rental potential. You can always Airbnb. That's what I would use your money for. Because look, here's the honest truth. Unless you get fired sometime soon or the economy really tanks, you're going to be back to having $106,000 in cash like that. And I know you want to have some cash on hand in case the market crashes. And that's fine. Then don't make as large of a down payment. But you have enough cash right there. And if you do some good house shopping and you're not looking for some big fancy place, you're just looking for a place for you to crash your head, store your crap, couple rooms to maybe rent out to some buddies or Airbnb. And if you include rental savings and you choose the right property and it's not a mechanical or a maintenance nightmare, etc., like you do your homework, I think over the long run, that'll stand a pretty good chance of providing you a decent rate of return. Maybe not super high, but a decent rate of return. Then again, you don't have to worry about being homeless. And that for me, that's something that I always worried about. Like not because there would be a couple times I'd like be moving from one place to another, and I'd be like in my car, I'd be crashing at this office, but that's a different story. It's just something I like. Is it going to provide as high a rate of return as the S&P 500? Probably not. No one knows. But I like that fact because it has the rental income potential. It saves you rent, and it just provides that security. And then you get a little bit of exposure to the real estate market. Could the housing market crash tomorrow? Yes. Do I think housing prices are overvalued? Yes. But if you do, the great thing about housing is it's very individualistic. And if you do enough hunting, and you're pretty savvy with like doing repairs, you should be able to find a place that cash flows or at least generates a little bit of rental income. And then almost in that regard, your property value almost becomes moot. It does become moot, but it almost becomes moot. It becomes less relevant. So I'd be maybe looking for some houses. It could be you don't find any houses that aren't worthwhile. Maybe you got to go to Vegas, or maybe you got to go to where might be a cheap place. I know Seattle is one of the most overvalued markets. I'm afraid in that northwest area that may be overvalued. But in general, I like the theory and philosophy of you getting a small little house so you stop spending money on rent, even though I know it may be cheaper property. Make sure you do your homework. Vancouver may have insanely high taxes. You know that local area better than me, but there should be a piece of property out there in Washington State that saves you your state income taxes, allows you to still drive south to San Fran if you got to be there in the day. You're on the Pacific, so you can fly out, and then you can rent to some buddies, make a little bit of cash. Then, like, say you're gone, you go to Japan for 6 months or whatever it is you do. Then you rent it out, Airbnb it out, or have your buddies watch over it. Something like that. I've seen many bachelor friends buy that bachelor house and do it. All of a sudden, they've made out like bandits. But they did it right. Nothing fancy, nothing big. Just a couple extra rooms, garage, you're good to go. Should I invest in mutual funds? All right, how much you got in mutual funds? You know what I'm saying? $200,000 on Roth IRA. Okay, you got enough in mutual funds. You might want to, unless those mutual funds are invested in real estate investment trusts or have exposure to real estate, maybe now is the time to look at real estate. Although I wouldn't necessarily fault you for maybe holding off and wait for a correction in housing prices. But again, this gets back to the cash flow issue. If you could do it right, you're not paying as much in rent. Here's my existential crisis. Due to excessive traveling for work, I have very little social life. How old are you again? 28? 36. Due to excessive traveling for work, I have very little social life. All my lifelong friends are married with kids and are broke, miserable, and likely envious that I didn't make some decisions they did. Through your videos, I agree that all jobs are pretty pointless and unfulfilling, and that corporate America is a giant Ponzi scheme, and that the older generation makes all the money and does little to no work, and the younger generation folks do everything. To sum it all up, while the job and money may be doing well, I've not put a lot of focus into leading a well-rounded life from a social life perspective. I'm running out of ideas to keep my mind occupied and to be excited about the future. I feel like I've read all the books, listened to all the music, seen all the movies, and played most of the video games. Have you tried podcasts? I can't get a dog because of travel and struggle to make meaningful relationships. No, I can't get a dog because of travel and struggle to make meaningful relationships due to being an introvert with a high IQ of 138 and only enjoying people for short bursts rather than extended periods of times. All right, let's interject here. You're not 28, you're 36. And what happens after a while is you start getting set in your ways. It used to annoy me a lot, and it still annoys me now, and this is the biggest problem that I face, is the lack of human interaction and peers and colleagues. Because in college, it was like, wow, it was great. Even though I was working all the time, I worked with a bunch of great people, and I had that camaraderie. Dancing, in my 20s, I was very socially active, went out dancing, taught dance classes, met a lot of people there. But two things inevitably happen. One, everyone gets picked off. They get picked off like German Messerschmitts in World War II, and then what was originally like a full-strength air wing, you're now down to 2 or 3 planes, and you're scattered. And now the friends that I have to at least drive 500 miles to see some good friends that on a regular basis they'll willingly hang out. The other thing that's happening is you get older and you adapt to your environment, and you've been spending a lot of time by yourself. And same thing has happened here where I hike by myself, I play golf by myself. I was on the golf course all by myself, had the entire golf course to myself because of the statistical odd path in life I've taken. It's Tuesday, it's 1 p.m., everybody's at work, it's a little cloudy out, but I'm like, yeah, I'll go golfing anyway. No one's there. You may like the movie Lost in Translation as well. That's a very interesting one. But you will adapt, and then because I think of the advent of podcasts, not to mention your pursuits of your own intellectual interests, you really get comfortable being in your own skin, and you don't tolerate a lot of crap you don't like, which is kind of necessary to learn and tolerate other people, not to mention befriend them. And so what I'm finding is, yeah, it'd be great to go and hang out, but you're going to find out soon enough, like me, it's like, boy, I don't have the capacity to hang out with a lot of people. It gets too noisy at the bar. Someone's talking and they're not as interesting as Jordan Peterson or Stefan Molyneux on a podcast. This person is doing that, they're taking too long. Like, dude, we could be going hiking or riding motorcycles or something like that. You pack in so much activity, intellectual, physical, whatever stimulates you, that your stimulation level is here. You're like the Flash. You operate at this speed. Everybody else is down here. Even if they have high IQs. They got the kids, they got da-da. And there is no solution. I wish there was a solution, but it's just, you know, the solution is what? You become a normie. You have the 2.1 kids. You go to the club. I'll address some other stuff once I get through your next paragraph here. But yes, this is not uncommon, and I think it's going to be increasingly common as we see this generation of manosphere red pill graduates go from teens and 20s, also in their 30s and 40s, 5, 10, 15 years from now. They'll play the cards right. They won't have debt. They'll have all the money in the world. They'll have kept their nose clean. But in doing so, will have ostracized themselves statistically from society. And so everyone's going to be, especially people listening to tuning in here, this is something you guys are going to face if you're not already facing it now. One idea that I'm thankful for your videos is that I'm spending time learning about computer science, mathematics, and accounting. I have 2 bullshit liberal arts degrees, and those are, I'm not going to mention it because I don't want to out you in Silicon Valley. How'd you get into Silicon Valley with those worthless pieces of shit? Due to my lifelong fear of math. I'm working to overcome this, as I agree with a comment you made about accountants and finance folks being the people who truly run companies. They do, into the ground. I'm also considering writing a novel and learning both regular and bass guitars. Any other suggestions are appreciated. All right. You can always, I know you're an introvert, but you need to meet humans, you need to meet space, and you can't not try. I tried. I remember sitting down one time, I was working a security shift, and I spent 8 hours going through all the meetup groups in Minneapolis. Here in Vegas, I went to a YouTuber meetup group, a blogger meetup group, played Dungeons and Dragons, and kind of the same thing, like, I can't stand these people, they're moving too slow, let's go here. But you got to go and try. I've had success with hiking groups, things that are physically active, volleyball groups. Kickball meetup is one thing I would definitely hit up. Different towns have different qualities of meetup groups. Minneapolis is very poor. Vegas is all right. Vegas is pretty cool. It's just, again, I won't go into the details, but when I went to these groups, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But you got to get out there. You got to put yourself out there. So we're studying math and accounting and finance and all this other stuff and learning guitar. Those are all great things, but you're not getting out there meeting people. I always recommend ballroom dance to men and women because it gets you out, it teaches you another skill, and it's social. I don't really necessarily, it really depends on the locality and that particular dance scene. I don't recommend it for meeting people romantically, but I do recommend it for getting out, talking to people, and getting into meet space. So, whereas you seem not to be intimidated by taking on new hobbies, that's fine, but to make an attempt, not guarantee, this is only going to be an attempt, to make an attempt to increase your social life, to sum it all up, while the job and money may have been doing well, I've not put a lot of focus into leading a well-rounded life from a social life perspective. I'm running out of ideas to keep my mind occupied and be excited about the future. All right, you need humans. I don't know if you read Curse of the High IQ or Poor Rich's Retirement. Even though it's about retirement, there's a lot of philosophy about that in there. The only thing that's going to quench your mind is going to be other human beings in the human mind of somebody else that can argue, debate, pontificate, exchange with you. It's truly infinite in all the potential outcomes the human brain has. You are pursuing things that are finite, although music is technically, I guess, infinite. But math, accounting, these are not sentient human beings or entities that can respond back to you. Dog kind of maybe, but dogs don't speak English. Sometimes they go, I love you, I love you, and we all go, aww. But you need to get humans in. Now, how you do that? That's the problem. So keep doing, here's the thing. Yeah, obviously, keep doing your things. That's what I do. I picked up golf recently. I did motorcycles, hiking. Next thing, I'm going to set up my own meetup group. I want to get back to the Twin Cities. Get a job, get a part-time job. I've been thinking about going and becoming a bartender. I looked into going into the Reserve Police Force, but they took fucking forever to get back to me. 9 months later, I think it was, hey, you've been accepted. Like, plans change, guys. But you need to, and then here's the other thing, what I tell other people that kind of in your situation, you have the funds that You must have some kind of internet social life where you've met some, and formed some really great digital friendships over the interwebs. It's worth every penny to fly out there and visit those people. I do about 2, I don't want to say cross country, because I usually do one half the country. I'll go east, visit all the east people, and I'll go west and visit all the west people. But I do at least 2 of those a year, and it's worth going and visiting these people. And I'm like, here, I'll buy dinner. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, let's go do this. Let's go do that. So whatever friends you have there, it's almost cheaper. I can guarantee you, it is cheaper to fly out and visit those people rather than spend all the time, energy, and money going to some meetup group or something like that. Finally, I know it's going to kind of be nerdy and all that, and expect to be underwhelmed. Go and see if you maybe look into the Kiwanis, or the International Order of Oddfellows, or the Masons, or the Elks, or the Eagles. Just so you know, they're not operating at 138 IQ. Most of these organizations and fraternal orders, this is what fraternal orders, and ladies, they also have women's auxiliaries to these things if you are facing a similar problem. They are ran by old, incompetent baby boomers who have let the facilities and the buildings go into disrepair. It's basically just a drinking club, which is okay, it's social. But when I've walked in, I'm like, could you repair the holes in the sheetrock? Or like, hey, do you have an application to join? Oh, hang on. I don't know. We don't have any. And I look, and it's just everybody drinking at a VFW or something like that. Be prepared to be let down. Sometimes these fraternal orders have vibrant, active chapters that are really cool. And then you make some lifelong friends, and you have some kind of agency or brotherhood that goes there. But yeah, man, I have left very few stones unturned, and Hash House Harriers. Look into those guys. That's another, if you're into running, Hash House Harriers. But you're gonna have to find some kind of human interaction in clubs, and then when you go there, be prepared for just to be underwhelmed. Just be prepared. You can even go to Mensa, and it's not necessarily to always hit it on the IQ thing, but go to Mensa and be prepared to be underwhelmed. not necessarily intellectually, but like, okay, what do we do here, guys? Can we do something fun? Yeah. So I wish I had the answer. Like I said, this is the number one problem I'm facing. It's gotten so bad I've even thought about going to church, even though I don't believe a damn word that comes out of it. It's just like, oh, let's see what's going on here. I'll tell you the story about the neo contemporary service I went to, and oh my god, that was pretty bad. So, but yeah, consider getting a house. But then the rest of it, dude, you're gonna have to go out and you need humans. You got hobbies down. Now you need humans. How do you find them? You got me, because I've been trying for a while. And after a while, you just give up, because like you can chase humans. It's like chase girls. Like, okay, I can chase girls at the nightclubs and the boring shit where all the normies go. You're just chasing people at this time. And it's like, okay, do I go to the bars or go to the game, or do I do this? Or you know what, there's a mountain over there that's pretty fucking cool to hike. Or you know what, I'm going to go travel to wherever you go, Thailand, and sit on a beach and try some different food. But I will tell you this, because I've told the people this before. Prepare to be alone. Prepare to be alone. Because that is a very likely... And prepare to be surrounded by people at the same time, too. We're just sitting there, Oh, is that the ingredients that went into the cake? Because one time I was at this party. Oh. It was Prior Lake, Minnesota. And it was some gal's birthday. My girlfriend at the time brought me there. And these girls managed to talk about the fucking cake for a solid 10 minutes. Oh my god, this is the greatest cake ever. Tita, where did you get it? I got it at the store. No. Yes, it tastes homemade. I'm like, I could put bullets in all your heads and nothing would happen to the advancement of society. But I did. I went out and fished or did something else. I don't know. Alright, that's it. You guys got questions. The captain's got answers, aside from, what do I do if I'm a highly successful, highly intelligent individual who's bored with humans? And I can't answer. That's the one question I can't answer. Go to AstroConsulting.com, where I, America's older brother, will give you sad, depressing responses that'll make you say, well, I could slice this way instead of across. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.